Alright, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy PXG Cash Howard, and it's time for another weekly battle video for the Worldwide Champions League. Um, as you guys already know, we're doing pretty bad. Um, Currently 1-4. I can't even you can't even say there's any specific reason as to why, but we are losing. Um, so this week we're gonna be fighting Brodie. Now, it's always weird when I fight Brodie. This is the second time, as I never battled him when he joined during season 2. But I always want Brodie to win. So whenever I have to fight him, I was like, I want to win, but I want Brodie to win too. And this time, ironically, I'm actually really afraid of Brodie's team. Give you guys a quick recap, as always. We got the same squad: the Zygarde, the Volcanion, Raikou, Tangrowth, Scolipede, Azelf, Tentacruel, Diancie, Bronzong, Cobalion, and Staraptor and Blissey. Now, when I say that Brodie's team was actually scaring me, it was scaring me. I actually had no idea where to start in terms of building for it, because he had a lot of things that would bother certain pokes. So essentially, I really had to look at everything from a broad point of view, because he really could do a lot of damage to me. This is Brodie's squad, in case you guys are wondering. He has Buzzwole, Volcarona, Gliscor, Dhelmise, Toxapex, Togekiss, Meteor, Bisharp, Espeon, Heliolisk, Scrafty, and Tyrantrum. Heliolisk being something he picked up recently, which I feel like is probably maybe for my team. It could be something he just probably felt he needed because he did drop Smeargle, but Heliolisk, ironically, was the reason I lost during a season 2 battle, because it literally walled one of my pokes and I wasn't able to do anything about it. But he has a lot of pokes that can really set up, like Volcarona, Buzzwole, Tyrantrum, Scrafty. He got bulky things. So it's I don't know how to even go about it. I don't know which is this is something I need specifically. So building for Brodie was actually a pain, because I really didn't know which direction to actually go in terms of building, because like I said, he really has everything. So I kind of just went and grabbed everything, and kind of no other real way to put it. So for the first time, I'm actually bringing Staraptor out. I figured that maybe I may need him, because Brodie does have a lot of physically weak things. So having someone quickly go in and doing damage and quickly leaving probably be very beneficial for me. I'm bringing Bronzong again, mainly because I do want to test out this theory that I have, and hopefully it will actually work out for me in this battle. Bringing the Zygarde because, as always, he has to make an appearance. I'm bringing Tentacruel because I know for a fact, with the Toxapex, which ironically he did bring, if he were to try to set up Hazard on me, I really need Tentacruel to be there to stop him. Cobalion, I was gonna bring out, throw out some rocks to hamper some of his team if he does get to bring the Volcarona, which he did not. That would be beneficial. And then, Volcanion, because, why not? Ironically, Volcanion would actually carry most moves that I would need to take out most of his team. His team shared a lot of very common weaknesses, and I do remember discussing with someone, I'm like, if I take care of certain threats between both Zygarde and Volcanion, I could pretty much take the whole team if I do things correctly. And yeah. So Brodie bringing with him Heliolisk, Toxapex, Bisharp, Espeon, Tyrantrum, and Buzzwole. So he still has some threats there. I was kind of surprised, like I said, Volcarona, which I really kind of prepped to fight, didn't show up. Other annoyances, it's like I said, he kind of brought a balanced team. So it's kind of like a battle of what we think is the best balanced team that we both got here. So let's find out, you know, who's gonna win week 6 of the Worldwide Champions League. This is me versus the Chesterfield Victinis. Alright, so there's Brodie. So I lead off with Habib, the Star Raptor. You know, first appearance of the boy Habib. Who's... We got Burnt Lizard, the Heliolisk. I'm not gonna lie, I made a Jesus play. I kind of went against, you know, logic. I'm like, let me just go for it. And it worked. I was actually definitely afraid because I know who's just gonna kill me if that would have died. So right off the bat, Heliolisk is gone. Next comes in Buzzwall, named after Kurt. So I withdraw because I do remember that this could carry an elemental punch. So I go into Liam's Bane. There's the Ice Punch, which is fine. We can take that hit, you know, no problem. So he withdraws from Kurt. Makes me wonder if this is actually choiced in some form. Out comes out Espeon. I go for the Scald. We do get the burn, which is good for us. Espeon can be whittled down. I'm not gonna obviously stay in though. I'm out of all of my options, I go into keep Talon the Bronzong because unless it has Shadow Ball, I should be fine. He goes for the Psyshock. I'm fine taking this. Does barely anything, and that was a crit on top of that. And then, as I said, the burn will be continued whittling in. I was expecting him to switch out into Bisharp in the situation, but he stood in, so you know, I revealed the Earthquake kind of a little early than I wanted to. But Espeon is not physically defensive, so we were able to do some damage on that. And he did do the Light Screen to increase his special defenses. There's the Reflect to increase his physical defenses. But at the same time, he's gonna pretty much sack the Espeon because I'm going to kill it with this Heavy Slam. And just like that, Psychic the Espeon goes down. So he goes into Blue Ranger. There's the Bisharp. So I stay in because I do want to test how much the berry's gonna help me with the defensive investment that I did bring in. I'm able to take that Night Slash fairly well. I go for the Earthquake and I'm trying to see how much damage this will do. Doesn't do enough because I did forget about the Reflect. I keep forgetting about Reflect and Light Screen being present. So I switch out. I go into the boy Kobe because if he does click a Dark Move, and he did, it'll be able to power up Cobalion here. And he does. Justified will trigger. My attack does go up by 1. I do get the recovery off with the leftovers. So I'm kind of hoping he does stay in or goes into something else here that doesn't want to take this close combat. But he goes into, as I like to call it, a Alolan Ferrothorn, the Toxapex. We'll be able to take the close combat, as he does resist it due to the poison typing. So we do recover our health with leftover. At this point, I don't want to be scalded and get potentially burned because that would lower Cobalion's purpose. So I do switch out and I go into Volcanion just for that reason, in case the Scald is coming. But he goes for Haze. So this thing is primarily here, I guess, to stop Zygarde from boosting in some form. And in this case, it would have stopped Cobalion from its +1 that he got to the attack. So he withdraws Ferrothorn, or I'm calling Ferrothorn, Toxapex. Goes into Roar, the Tyrantrum. Now I click Earth Power because the vast majority of his remaining pokes do not like the ground move. Now, I do switch out. Now, when I did make the switch out, I was not really thinking 100%. I was only thinking about the ground. I'm like, you know, yeah, okay, none of my things here really want to take a ground hit. So let me go into Zygarde. And then I forgot, this thing is a dragon. And I was like, oh, please, God, don't let it be a dragon Z move. But he goes for Tectonic Rage. It was ground. My prediction was right. Now, for those wondering why I would be afraid with Habib and Bronzong in the wing. In Bronzong's case, I was not carrying Levitate, believe it or not. I was actually running Heavy Metal. So, you know, low heat sets. So there goes the 1,000 Arrows, which is able to KO the Tyrantrum. There goes another threat, which gave me problems last season. So currently we're at a 6-3. Out comes back Kurt. We know this thing has Ice Punch. We're not going to obviously stay in. So we go into Gabe. Between Gabe and Liam's Bane, the Tentacruel, we can take ice hits easy peasy. He does get the freeze on me. Now the reason why I chose Gabe over Tentacruel in this situation, because I can actually unthaw myself. So he goes into Bisharp, Blue Ranger to Bisharp. I go for the Steam Eruption. Not sure if he went into Bishop to try to set up, or if he forgot that I would be able to get out of the ice, but out comes back Buzzwole, which, like I said, this does tell me that this is choiced. I don't know. I'm guessing it's Scarf. It does decent damage with Earthquake on Bronzong. Wow, on Volcanion. I go for the Flamethrower. It's actually able to Oko the Buzzwole. So at this point, we're at a 6-5. 6-5, wow, 6-1. Now, the battle does end there. There's a reason for that. It's not because a lot of people are probably gonna assume it's that the battle ended because Kurt was gonna get 6-0'd. No, he explained to me after while the battle was like in the middle of being done, and he let it known in the chat anyway. His Toxapex's last move, his only attacking move, was Scald. I currently have my Volcanion out, and I wouldn't be switching it out anyway. And if I did, I probably would be switching it to Tentacruel. But in the case of Volcanion, my ability is Water Absorb, so any water move can't touch me. Oh, you would essentially be healing me. His last 3 moves are not attacking moves in the slightest. So this is essentially the same scenario as what happened to me back in Season 2 with Heliolisk, because Heliolisk also has Water Absorb. And that blocked my Suicune Den from doing anything, so I was essentially locked out and, you know, from doing anything. But regardless of the fact, GG's to Brodie.
And there goes the battle!
That does give us a win after a straight 4 losing streak. Now we're at 2-4. Next week we'll be battling Matt, as we call him, the Professor, and that'll be an interesting match because me and Matt always have interesting matches, to say the least. It's usually just straight out brawls. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and hope to see you guys for the next match. Peace.